Over the past year, I spent time riding two fat tire e-bikes, and despite their large size and heavy weight, they are a blast to ride on trails and provide some security with good comfort. For the past month, I've been testing out a new bike that is perfect for tackling the great outdoors, whether it's hunting, fishing, gravel riding, trail riding, and much more. Hello everybody, this is Matthew Miller, otherwise known as Palm Solo, coming to you after spending about a month with another bike. I've gone through different stages of my e-bike career. In the beginning, I got my first e-bike about 6 years ago, and it was primarily for commuting. And then we moved into a time of a lot of folding bikes. Earlier this year, it was a lot of cargo bikes to pack gear with you. And lately, in the last year or so, and even more recently, I've been riding some fat tire bikes. And fat tire bikes aren't something I'm going to commute every day with because it's a big bike, heavy, generally 80-pound range or something like that. They've got the big 26-inch by 4-inch tires. And it's not really a commuter bike that's going to fit on the train, mixing it up with my commute. Now, if you're commuting in a city or a town or a less, I guess, more rural area, maybe that's a perfect commuter bike. But it's really more of a bike that gets you out on gravel trails, get into the outdoors. I've seen guys using them for scouting, for hunting, things like that. I have used them before for fishing trips when I pack all my gear on there. So for the past month or so, I've been riding a new fat tire e-bike from the folks at Fiido. Now, it was a year ago that I tried out the Fiido X, which was a really cool foldable bike, very small, portable. Had an interesting, unique seat post with a battery and a lock on it. So this is the first bike besides that Fiido X that I've tried out from Fiido. This is called the Fiido Titan. Here's the manual it comes with, and the manual is actually very useful because there is some assembly and setup after you get the bike, so I do advise that you look through the manual and help you get through that stuff. It comes in two different models. One is a standard model, which was sent to me for review for this period. And the standard model has a single battery. I'll talk about the battery here in a second. And then the extended model you can purchase for a lot more money. Has two extra batteries that actually fit into a rack on the back of the bike, and they slide in on the back of the bike. Now, the battery's interesting on the Fiido X. I tried out a Cyrusher Ranger, which had a similar kind of battery arrangement that was along the front of the tube, and you twisted a little lock and then the battery would drop out the front. The Fiido Titan has a very similar one where there's a big plastic battery cover. You put a couple fingers on there, you slide the tab down, pull off the plastic cover, and the battery is separate from the plastic cover. So the battery stays inside the frame. And then you have to use a different unlocking mechanism to actually release the battery. There's a manual locking system on the integrated display, or there's a smartphone app where you can use to unlock the battery lock. And then you push a button, and then you'll see the battery will be released, and then you push a button and pull the battery out. So there's a little bit of security with the battery in there, which is a nice thing to have, a nice feature, because the batteries are around 350 bucks each, and they're quite expensive. They advertise 84-mile range with a single battery, up to 248 miles with two battery packs. Now, in my experience, I'm not getting the full 84 miles. I have been riding it as I typically ride a fat tire bike with a lot of throttle action and a lot of assist levels on there because I'm using it on trails or gravel roads or hills or places where I need that extra power. And I'm not the lightest guy at about 250 pounds, so I'm pushing a lot of weight with it as well. So I'm not seeing 84 miles. I would say easily getting 50 miles out of the single battery. You'll probably get, I don't know if you get 248 miles, even if you don't get that far. Getting 150, 180, 200 miles is still a great deal with the two battery pack. So it is a fat tire bike with the 26 by 4-inch tires. It is heavy at 83 pounds, which is fairly typical for these kind of bikes. It is a very smooth ride. It has the front shocks that are adjustable on it. And then it has a very nice, robust frame design, kind of the frame where the battery fits, and then there's another tube with the battery that fits on top of that. Typical 750 watt rear hub motor with 1130 watts peak. It does have a torque sensor in there, so you get a little bit of a different ride with a torque sensor there in the middle. As I mentioned, I'm 250 pounds. It does have a 440 pound capacity with about 175 pound capacity on that rear rack. So quite a bit of carrying capacity on this bike. Now, by default, the bike, when it first comes out, it does have 9-speed gears, or 9-speed gears on board, so you can go up hills and things like that. Also has 0 through 5 levels of pedal assist. By default, when you get the bike, you put it together, you start riding it. If you push the throttle all the way down in the I think it's Turbo Plus mode they call it, you can get up to about, I'm seeing 15 miles an hour. They advertise 15 and a half, so very close to 15 miles per hour. With pedal assist, you get a little bit faster on your own as you pedal. Now, if you take and hold the up arrow on the display, it will unlock the bike for the speed. And I was seeing upwards close to, it was upper 20s with the throttle on the bike, so it was really moving. And I actually pressed and held and released that because it got a little bit too fast for me. But no, there's a lot of power in this bike that's available to you. So mentioning kind of that display, this is a little bit different than some of the bikes we've seen in the past that have a display up top that angles and swivels and adjusts, and sometimes they're black and white, monochrome, sometimes they're color. This one has an integrated color display that is not adjustable. It sits right in the middle of the handlebars there on the forward of the frame, and it has some four very large buttons to activate it, with a bunch of controls over on the left handlebar for the horn, and the same kind of buttons that are on the center. So you can just use the left thumb to manipulate the display and the controls, or you can push the buttons, the very large buttons right there on that display. It also does have a Fiido app that connects to your smartphone, and with that smartphone it has that battery unlocking feature. Plus you can turn it on when you're going on a trip, and it will track and navigate, through the GPS in the phone, but at least you can pair it with the bike and track how far you're riding and the speeds and collect all of that data. It does have a very large, bright LED headlight, which is perfect for gravel roads and trail riding. And then it's also very safe for stopping because it has a 4-piston hydraulic brakes, so that'll stop you. One nice thing I like about this Fiido Titan, compared to some of the other fat tire bikes and even some of the other e-bikes I've seen, is that this one does not have spokes on the wheels. Now, e-bikes are quite powerful, so you are recommended to check those spokes ever so often. You're putting a lot of load, a lot of speed, a lot of weight on those tires, so do check your spokes. With the Fiido Titan, there is no spokes. It's the MAG wheel design, right? The single wheel design, aluminum wheel design. So there's no spokes to worry about. It's a robust wheel there, so that's kind of nice. And then I don't think I mentioned the price yet. So for the standard model, it's $16.99. And then if you were to buy the one with 2 extra batteries and the battery rack, that is $23.97 for that model. So that's pretty expensive. But for those people that are going out in the woods and they're going to spend all day on the bike instead of a car, it's not a bad deal. So last year I tested the Fiido X. It was one of my favorite folding bikes. Very robust design, attractive materials, nice bike. This Fiido Titan has that same high quality build. It has that secure battery locking feature. And I gotta say, I've ridden it on a few gravel roads and some trails with leaves and things, but it's not fly fishing season for me right now. I'm looking forward to some fly fishing with this bike and some more gravel trail riding. So thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. I'm trying to build up a few more followers as I build up this site for e-bikes and other coverage, and I appreciate you coming to watch. Thanks everybody for watching. May the mobile force be with you.